guys, we're Trevor and Danyell. We've been away for a few weeks working on our businesses, updating and fixing some properties, and spending some time to ourselves. In today's vlog, we want to catch up a bit and answer some of your most asked questions. She getting all amped. She knows what's up.
She's locked and loaded.
Okay, you ready?
I'm ready.
Okay, good morning guys. Long time no chat. We have gotten ready this morning. We are out and about and we're gonna go on a walk with Sky. On my Instagram the last couple of weeks actually, I've been asking for some Q&A questions. So today we're actually going to answer those Q&As on our walk. We just thought it would be better than doing like a sit-downy video. We'd rather just chit chat and talk and walk with you this morning. We're going on a nice morning walk with Sky and we're gonna answer all of your questions that you asked me on Instagram. So bright. My hat. Like, it looks so funny because like it's so bright on my face, but the hat makes it so dark. I'm trying our best, guys. We're walking like into the sun this morning right now. So the first question we'll address is actually not a question you guys asked, but something that I know you're probably thinking, and that's where we've been the last couple of weeks. I think we've taken like almost 3 weeks off of vlogging, if not more. But as you guys know, I was super busy in September with a lot of Lang videography stuff, and just trying to catch up with that has been a little overwhelming. I've never been that busy with my business before, so I wasn't used to how to handle that, if that makes sense. So vlogging kind of got put on the back burner. As much as I love vlogging, it doesn't make us any money. So we have to focus on the things that made us money. What have you been up to lately, Trevor?
Well, we finished the apartment we've been working on. So that's done. Someone already moved in and everything. Yep. And we're moving on to the next apartment. Yeah, so he's been busy too. We had to, as soon as we got back from Kansas, he's been working nonstop on that apartment that you've seen in other vlogs that he's been working on. And so they got that finished up, so now they can rent it out. It's rented, somebody lives in there, and it's ready to go. So our first question, I'm reading off my phone here, is how much of your video makes it into the final version? I'll go ahead and answer this one mostly because I do a lot of the recording and the editing for our vlog channel. Well, I do all of the editing and a lot of the recording. And I would say that probably 90% of what we record makes it into the final video. We've been doing this for a while now and we're kind of used to what we want to film and how we need to film it, and it'll just go in. Especially with us doing like lifestyle-y stuff, like we want it all to go in. So usually when we're recording, it's because we want it to go in. Would you add anything to that? Yeah, when I record, usually about 20% makes it in. You're like gaming stuff? No. Like when I record, she edits probably 20% of it in because I'm not very good at recording. Well, you're just like a little different. Like I pick up the camera and I don't hit record until like I know I'm ready for like that footage. Whereas sometimes you hit record and just like wait for something to happen. Yeah, that's true. And so I guess our vlogging style is a little different, but in total between me and you, I would still say probably like 90% of it makes it in. Okay, next question. So our next question is, when is the next time you two are coming back to Kansas? We were just in Kansas the first week or so of September, so we were just there. And the next time we'll come back is probably around Christmas time. Yeah. We probably won't be in Kansas until Christmas again. We'll probably spend like another week and a half there for Christmas time with Trevor's family before we spend Christmas with my family. Okay, the next question is, were you nervous to vlog in front of Trevor for the first time? Trevor and I's first time vlogging around each other was actually after we'd already had a discussion about starting our own channel. So I wasn't super nervous because it was something he'd already agreed to do with me. But I did have channels before I met Trevor that I didn't vlog on anymore.
And that she didn't want me to look at.
Yeah, so when we first started dating, he knew I had YouTube channels and stuff with things on them, but I didn't let him watch it. It took a long time before I let him watch my stuff. And then once I let him watch it, then we kind of discussed having our own vlog channel. So when it came time to vlog, I wasn't as nervous. It was definitely awkward because I was used to talking in front of the camera, putting on a persona in front of the camera, not like the person in front of the camera isn't the real me, but I'm a little more loud, I'm a little more talkative, a little more outgoing when I have the camera in front of me. So I was a little awkward at first because I still wanted to be myself, but I also have a little more of an extroverted personality in the vlog, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Were you nervous?
Yeah, because I've never vlogged, I've never talked to a camera or anything, so yeah, it was a little different, and I'm still not the best at it. Still awkward.
Yeah,
but
sometimes.
I feel like in the beginning there was no way I would have done anything in public, but now, I mean, it doesn't really bother me.
Now we vlog at the grocery store and
it doesn't really bother me. So.
Okay, this next question I'm just gonna address, but we're not gonna answer it. It's from one of my sisters, and it says, who's your favorite sister? And if you guys don't know, I have 3 sisters. Trevor also has a sister, so there's a whole bunch of girls.
I have a favorite sister.
Yeah, Trevor has a favorite sister because you only have one.
Yeah.
I have 3, so I'm not gonna pick a favorite, but I just wanted to tell you, I see your comment and I'm not answering it. Okay, so we have 2 questions that ask about marriage advice, mostly just our marriage advice to someone else, and then the best of marriage advice we've ever received. I guess my marriage advice would not just be marriage advice, but be relationship advice in general, and that's just communication. And I know you've probably heard that before, but it's really the most important thing. We have to make every decision together. Mm-hmm. If somebody asks me if I want to do anything, I'm almost always going to say, let me ask Trevor first. Not because Trevor controls my life or anything by any means, but because we have communication and we talk about things together, and our life is now one, if that makes sense. We're our own people, but now we have each other doing this life together, so we have to ask each other about literally everything, even if it only has to do with me. I still want to ask you.
Yeah, it's mostly just because you want to make sure that you're always taking the other person into account.
Yes.
Before you just kind of do whatever. And that, yeah, it's not like we control each other's lives or anything, but sometimes we're hey, I want to go to a movie, or say I have something surprise or something, and then Danielle's hey, is it okay if I go over here to do this? I was well, actually, I kind of had planned to cook you dinner and watch a movie with you, but, and stuff like that is just, I don't know, because you could honestly, the guy could just get mad and be no, go do whatever you want, and get mad because they're well, I had this special thing planned. But we talk about everything, so yeah, we don't hold anything back, and then we discuss oh no, it's fine, I can do it another night, go ahead and do stuff with your friends, that type of thing.
Yeah, so I guess too, it's I'm not necessarily, my advice isn't communication. It is communication, communication's great, but that's something you've heard before. I guess my advice would be to take the other person into account all the time with everything, even if it's just something that affects you. Take the other person into account as well. Would you have any other marriage advice?
Well, so at our wedding, I think it was your aunt.
My great aunt, the lady who, we did the thing where you dance as long as you can, as long as you've been married. I don't know if you guys know that for weddings, I'm describing it really bad. But you dance, and then the last person on the dance floor will be the person who's been married the longest, and it wound up being my great aunt, my grandma's sister, and then they had to give us some advice. And
her advice was to, I'm trying to think of the word. Where's the word? What did she say?
Compromise?
Yes, compromise. Compromise. Because no matter what, again, it kind of goes back to what yours is. No matter what, it involves 2 people, and once you're married, you always have to think of each other and not yourself. It's not about yourself anymore. It's not about what you necessarily want out of life. It's about getting both people what they want together out of life.
Yeah.
So sometimes you have to make compromises and skip Sunday football because you want to go with family somewhere and do something. So it's kind of Yeah, I mean,
It's a give and a take.
Right. I would rather, you know, do this than that, but doing that would be better for us together. So, you know, that's kind of type of thing.
Yeah. Yeah, that would just mostly be all of our advice. Compromise, take the other person into account. Really, you just have to remember that it's not about you anymore. And that's like the hardest thing to do, but like if you can do it and your partner can do it too, then you'll never feel like it's not about you, because they're also taking you into account. So it always feels like you're about each other. So we're gonna take a seat for a little bit because I am getting winded talking and walking. I always get winded talking and walking. But our next question on Instagram was, how did you and Trevor meet? So Trevor and I met at work when we lived in Kansas City. We both worked for the same company and we were actually both on the same team, and Trevor actually trained me. So there was like no flirting at all, like for the longest time. It was very appropriate. And then when he was no longer really my mentor or anything, when I was like already established on the team, already doing better than him,
I trained you too well. You should be a trainer.
Then the flirting happened, I guess. And it was very, I feel like, in my opinion, very appropriate. I do know that like we worked together and there was no rules in the company about inner corporation dating. Like there were lots of people that were married in this business together, like everything. So what we were doing was by no means not allowed. It's just we wanted to keep it professional. And we dated for a long time before anybody really even knew on our team. So we kept it really professional at work. We would come into work together because I would like stay at his house, and people still didn't even like notice, because as soon as we like came into the building, we were very professional. But that's how we met. We met at work. We flirted at work. We texted a lot, hung out together a lot, everything like that. I didn't realize we had another marriage question. Somebody asked, what's it like being married?
Well, our situation, it was a lot like we were still dating.
Yeah, nothing changed.
Because we lived together.
We owned a house together.
Yeah.
Before we were even engaged. We were in the process of buying a house in like July, August, and then we didn't get engaged until October.
Right.
Our relationship was already there at like the marriage level before we were even married. So being married now doesn't really change anything. Right.
I mean, it wasn't like a big shock because we did live together, which is kind of like the main thing of a lot of, well, I wouldn't say a lot of people nowadays, but
that's the biggest difference.
The biggest thing is living with a person.
Yeah.
And because it's completely different. Yeah, you can date, you can see each other all day, every day for 14 hours a day, but a way a person acts at home is different than, you know. And for us to
already
live together, we kind of knew how each other was, because let's be honest, you don't see this person when you wake up in the morning, and you don't see this person
if you're not living together.
Right. And so, you know, person you might be with might be super cranky in the morning, and you don't know that until you live with them. So
for us it wasn't much different, and I think the only biggest difference nowadays is just how they are when you live with them. I think marriage should be the same when you're dating and when you're not. The way we behave, the way we treat each other is exactly the same. The only difference that it wasn't our case but might be your case is that now you live together, and that's how it should be, is you guys should still treat each other exactly the same and all that. I don't know, I guess we're just giving lots of marriage advice today.
I was gonna say, we should be professional counselors. Okay. Oh, one more thing I want to say about marriage is that they have, I don't know, kind of like, I had the persona of, you know, you don't fight in a marriage. Well, I'll be honest with you, you're gonna fight, you're gonna argue, but it's getting through it without hurting one another.
Yeah, without being mean. And sometimes that's hard, because when you fight, you're usually angry. And we always just try to fight and not be mean. Like when we argue, we express that we are having differences, and I'm upset about this or he's upset about that, but we try to never just like be mean and say mean things.
Yeah, because ultimately you love this person. That's why you got married to begin with. So you don't, I mean you might think things at that point when you're like, you know, upset and stuff, but just, I mean, if you love them, you don't say stuff that's like mean and cruel, and yeah, it's a lot about just, I mean, it goes back to communication. If you communicate with each other, even when you're angry, you can still work through it. And kind of something I heard on the radio that's a good idea is whenever they got in fights, they would hold hands until they were done fighting. And that forces them to basically look at each other and be like, you know what, I love you.
And to
I know
touch
we
each
kind
other,
of disagree, but, you know, it's not worth, you know, getting in this huge fight about.
Yeah. Look at Skylie.
She's being a good girl.
Yeah.
She's just chilling.
Hi, you good girl.
So somebody started walking towards us while we were sitting on the bench, so we got up and started walking again. The next question, we only have a couple more. The next question was how long, or let me look at it 1 minute. So the next question is, how long have we been doing YouTube? The answer to this is different for both of us. I have been doing YouTube since the summer before my freshman year in college. Right after I finished my senior year, I got my MacBook for school, and I started making YouTube videos that way with the kids that I babysit for, and it was nothing serious at the time. We just recorded really fun things and I just put them on the internet, and that was it. And then after that, I took it a little more seriously. I started creating some like more sit-downy videos. I started focusing more on vlogs because I found some people that I liked that vlogged, and yeah, and then we wound up here. But this channel has been around since 2016, and we haven't really taken it super seriously, except for like the last like maybe year and a half, 2 years.
Yeah, probably.
So Trevor, what about you? How long have you been doing YouTube?
Well, I would have never done YouTube if it wasn't for you.
Yeah?
Yeah, because...
So your first time doing YouTube was 2016 with me, when we started this channel that you guys are watching right now.
And then I made my own channel doing the things I wanted to do, like gaming and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So my channel is in the link in the description below. Make sure you go click on that and give it a slap for the subscribe button. Anyways,
slap on the subscribe button.
Yeah, so give it, just slap it, just tap it. Anyways.
Yeah, so we've been doing YouTube. I've been doing YouTube since 2012. We've been doing this channel since 2016, and we've been doing it kind of seriously for the last like year and a half.
Yeah.
So we're back home. We have one more question, and we'll answer it inside.
There he is.
There's Grizzle waiting for us. Hi, bud.
Hi. We're back. So is Grizzle. There he is.
He's gonna be in the video.
Mm-hmm. My bub.
So the last question.
Told you he's gonna be in the video. Hey, look, I have a mustache.
Okay, we'll just wait a second until he's out of the way.
I must ask you a question.
Okay, so our last question we actually got a couple times, and I feel like it's a question we get a lot in life too. And it's when or are or how long until you have kids? So do you want to answer this?
Well, I think we have the same desire, but we're a little bit different on how we go about it.
Or different on timing.
Yes.
So I mean, we're getting a little personal here. This is a vlog channel and we just like talk about our life all the time, but we're ready to have kids, and I want to have a baby like now. But Trevor doesn't want to have a baby until we're more ready. And I agree with that. It's just, I bring it up a lot more than he does, that means. I'm like, is now the time? How about now? How about now? Can we have a baby now? How about now?
That, I mean, you did the same thing when she wanted to get married. She kept bringing it up, and the worst part about it was...
We own a house. I was like,
yeah.
when are we gonna get married?
Well, and see, and I had the ring before the house, and I was getting all of this kind of ready, and like, I mean...
It's just, I think with a lot of things, I'm ready before you are, and not that you're not ready for kids, you just... Right. Well, you want kids, you're just not ready. So ready is the right word. Like, well, you want us to have more money, more time, more stability, more all that kind of stuff, and I think that there's never going to be like a good time. We're just gonna have to do it. Everybody just does it and they make it work. So, but for all of you guys who have been asking, that is our answer. We want to have kids. We hopefully will have kids. Just give us a little time.
I just need a little bit more time.
But that is it for our Q&A video. We hope you guys liked it. If you did, make sure you give it a big thumbs up. Subscribe if you haven't already. We're trying to get back to being consistent, but who knows. So make sure you subscribe, hit that little bell icon so that way you get notified every time we post a new video. And if you aren't following us on Facebook, make sure you do that as well, because I really like Facebook too. So we post all of our videos there. So follow us there, and we'll see you guys in the next one. Bye!